നിന്നെ നമിക്കുന്നു. നിത്യചൈതന്യത്തിൻ ഉറവിടമേ, നിത്യം നിന്നെ നമിക്കുന്നു. സാന്ത്വനമേകി എന്നെ അനുഗ്രഹിക്കൂ, സത്യത്തിലേക്ക് എന്നെ നയിക്കൂ ദേവാ. സാന്ത്വനമേകി എന്നെ അനുഗ്രഹിക്കൂ, സത്യത്തിലേക്ക് എന്നെ നയിക്കൂ ദേവാ. ദേവാ ഗുരുദേവാ, ഗുരുദേവാ, ഗുരുദേവാ. ഒരു പിടിവാട മന്ദാരങ്ങൾ നിത്യം നിൻ കാൽക്കൽ അർപ്പിക്കുന്നു. ഒരു പിടിവാട മന്ദാരങ്ങൾ നിത്യം നിൻ കാൽക്കൽ അർപ്പിക്കുന്നു. ഒരു മാത്ര പോലും പിരിയാതെ എന്നെ നിന്നിലറിയാൻ അനുവദിക്കൂ, നിത്യം അനുഗ്രഹിക്കൂ ദേവാ. ഗുരുദേവാ, ഗുരുദേവാ, ഗുരുദേവാ. ശരണം 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 നീ ഗുരുദേവാ. ശരണം 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 ഗുരുദേവാ. നിത്യചൈതന്യത്തിൻ ഉറവിടമേ, നിത്യം നിന്നെ നമിക്കുന്നു. സാന്ത്വനമേകി എന്നെ അനുഗ്രഹിക്കൂ, സത്യത്തിലേക്ക് എന്നെ നയിക്കൂ ദേവാ. സത്യത്തിലേക്ക് എന്നെ നയിക്കൂ ദേവാ. സത്യത്തിലേക്ക് എന്നെ നയിക്കൂ ദേവാ. അരുണാചല ശിവ, അരുണാചല ശിവ, അരുണാചല ശിവ, അരുണാചല. 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 അരുണാചല ശിവ, അരുണാചല ശിവ, അരുണാചല ശിവ, അരുണാചല.
പ്രതിഫലിച്ചു കൂടാതെ കയ്യിലുള്ളതെല്ലാം നൽകുകയും കിട്ടുന്നതുകൊണ്ട് തൃപ്തിയുടെയും ചെയ്യുന്ന ഒരു യോഗ്യതയാണ് ശാന്തിയെ കുറിച്ച്. യാതൊരുവിധ ഫീസോ കോഴ്സോ ഇല്ലാതെ നടത്തിവരുന്ന യോഗ പഠനകേന്ദ്രം ഇന്ന് അനേകർക്ക് ശാന്തിയും സമാധാനവും നൽകി വരുന്നതായിട്ടാണ് കാണുന്നത്. വേദവും യോഗവും രണ്ടല്ലെന്നും അവ വേർതിരിക്കാൻ പറ്റാത്ത ഒന്നാണെന്നും ഉള്ളിൽ സൂക്ഷിച്ചുകൊണ്ടുള്ള യോഗ പഠന രീതിയെന്നും അഷ്ടാംഗ യോഗത്തോടുള്ള ഭക്തിയും അറിവും പകർന്നു കൊടുത്തുകൊണ്ട് നിങ്ങളുടെ സംഘത്തിൽ നടത്തി വരുന്നു. ശാന്തിയോഗ സത്സംഗത്തിൻ്റെ രണ്ടാമത്തെ പ്രോഗ്രാമാണ് ഇന്ന് നടന്നത്. കഴിഞ്ഞ ഏപ്രിൽ 24-ന് മ്യൂസിയം ഹാളിൽ വെച്ച് തിരുവണ്ണാമല വർഷയെക്കുറിച്ചുള്ള ഒരു വീഡിയോ പ്രോഗ്രാം നടത്തിയിരുന്നു. വാസത്തിൽ അത് വലിയ തന്നെയായിരുന്നു. അതിനോട് നിൽക്കുന്ന തിരുവണ്ണാമലയെക്കുറിച്ച്, രമണ മഹർഷിയെക്കുറിച്ച് ഒരുപാട് കാര്യങ്ങൾ അവർക്ക് മനസ്സിലാക്കാൻ കഴിഞ്ഞതിൽ ശാന്തി യോഗ സത്സംഗത്തിന് ചാരിതാർത്ഥ്യമുണ്ട്. ഇന്ന് ഇവിടെ നമുക്ക് വേണ്ടി യഥാർത്ഥ ഭക്തിയുടെ അറിവിൻ്റെ വാതായനം തുറന്നു കാണിക്കാൻ സ്വാമി ശ്രീ ശാന്താനന്ദപുരി മഹാരാജനോട് ആഗ്രഹം പ്രകടിപ്പിച്ചത് മാത്രമേ തൻ്റെ സ്വസിദ്ധമായ ചിരിയോടുകൂടി അദ്ദേഹം സമ്മതിക്കുകയും ഇവിടെ വന്ന് നമ്മൾ അനുഗ്രഹിക്കാൻ തയ്യാറാവുകയും ചെയ്തു. ഒട്ടനവധി വേദികളിൽ ഭാഗവത സപ്താഹം, പുരാണ പാരായണം തുടങ്ങി പല കാര്യങ്ങളും നമ്മളിലേക്ക് അറിവിൻ്റെ അമൃതമൊഴി ചൊരിഞ്ഞ അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ വചനാമൃതം ശ്രമിക്കാൻ കാത്തിരിക്കുന്ന ഏവർക്കും അല്പസമയത്തിൽ അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ വചനാമൃതം കേൾക്കാവുന്നതാണ്. ഇവിടെ ഞങ്ങളുടെ ഗുരു ശ്രീ ഗുരുരാജൻ അവരെ കുറിച്ച് രണ്ട് വാക്ക് പറയട്ടെ. സാധാരണ യോഗ പഠന കേന്ദ്രത്തിൽ കാണുന്നത് പോലെയുള്ള ഒരവസ്ഥയല്ല ഞങ്ങളുടെ യോഗ പഠന കേന്ദ്രത്തിൽ ഉള്ളത്. അറിവും ജ്ഞാനവും ഭക്തിയും ഇതെല്ലാം ചേർന്നല്ലേ യോഗയാകുകയുള്ളൂ. അല്ലാതെ ഒരു പ്രത്യേക ഫീസോ കോഴ്സോ കൊണ്ട് നടത്തിയുള്ള ഒന്നല്ല യോഗ എന്നും അതിനുവേണ്ടി അക്ഷീണയത്നം ചെയ്യുന്ന ഒരു മഹത് അവതാരം എന്ന് പറയട്ടെ. അതാണ് ഞങ്ങളുടെ ഗുരു ശ്രീ ഗുരുനാഥൻ. വിദ്യാർത്ഥികളായ കുഞ്ഞുങ്ങൾക്ക് വേണ്ടി അവരുടെ ശാരീരികവും മാനസികവും ആത്മീയവുമായ ഉന്നതിക്ക് വേണ്ടി ധാരാളം പരിഷ്കാരങ്ങൾ നടപ്പിലാക്കി അവരെ അറിവിൻ്റെ ഔന്നത്യത്തിലേക്ക് നയിക്കുന്ന അദ്ദേഹത്തോട് ഞങ്ങൾ തീർത്ഥ കടപ്പാടുണ്ട്. സ്വാമി ശ്രീ ശാന്താനന്ദപുരി മഹാരാജനെക്കുറിച്ച് സംസാരിക്കാൻ ശ്രീ സുരേഷ് അവരുടെ ഞാൻ ക്ഷണിക്കുന്നു. നമസ്കാരം.
Swamiji and the august audience here. I am blessed with the task of introducing Swamiji, a great Mahatma, in front of you. His Holiness Sri Shantanandapuri Maharaj of Vasishtha Himalayas is a disciple of Swami Purushottamānanda Maharaj of Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa's tradition. A scholar in Vedic scriptures and Puranas, exponent of Srimad Bhagavata, Swamiji is an embodiment of Jnana, Bhakti and Vairagya. Swamiji has authored many books, Srimad Bhagavatam, its message to modern man, fragrant flowers, instant self-awareness, thoughts on Ashtavatradita, etc., to name a few. Swamiji's deep knowledge, lucid exposition, simplicity, transparency, and absolute surrender to the Supreme has won Swamiji a lot of devotees all over. We, the Trivandremains, are blessed to have Swamiji amidst us this evening and to hear Swamiji's enlightening Amritavani. As I have no more words powerful enough to say more about Swamiji, now I will leave it to you to experience the grace of Mahatma Sri Santananda Maharaj.
I bow down and prostrate to the Paramatman who is now present in this assembly in the form of the entire audience. I bow to them again and again. I deem it a great privilege and a matter of immense pleasure to be amongst you all at Trivandrum. I have found it so nice, and everybody whom I came across in the last 1 week, I found each one is an aspirant and a seeker for the ultimate happiness. You may call it God, you may call it Paramatma, you may call it a simple happiness. We all want happiness. You may call it by any name. And I am rather shameless to avow that I have fallen in love with Trivandrum at first sight. You ask anybody in the audience, because this is a statistical sample of the population of Trivandrum. You ask anybody here as to what you want. What do you want? Somebody might say, I want a beautiful house near the beach. Yeah, 3-storied house, a 4-storied in a Bangalore. Another man will say, I want a beautiful and well-educated wife who is drawing a very good salary and who will be able to cook also for me. Another one will say, sir, I would like to have a nice son who will become the President of India or at least the Prime Minister. Somebody will say, I want parts of money. I want to become stone rich. Then again you put that question to each one of them. What do you want the riches? What do you want the bungalow? What do you want the wife? She will say, sir, I am seeking happiness. I will get happiness if I get the house. I will get happiness if I get the wife. So the ultimate end and aim of every man's life is to get happiness. Would you be satisfied if you get happiness for 15 minutes? No. I want happiness for all the 24 hours, for all the 30 days, for all the 365 days, for the entire life of mine, which I want to be quite long enough. Alright. So that means if you want such sort of a permanent happiness which will outlive you, because everybody wants that happiness, it should be permanent so that even a child of today when it grows big, it should be able to have it. Even my great-grandchild should be able to have it. So that means that object which will give me happiness should be long-lasting, rather it should be everlasting. It should never be subject to death. It should never be subject to deterioration and degeneration. And we see, whatever the means we are adopting to get the happiness, money, wife, house, everything is subject to destruction, to dissolution one day or other. So even though we have tried all the means and everybody is treading the same path, generation after generation, even after knowing that neither my father got that pleasure which he expected, nor my grandfather got it, nor anybody's father, grandfather, or anybody, or any of the forefathers ever got that happiness out of any of the objects of this world. So if there is no object in this world which can give this happiness, then where would we seek? There is only one place left where we have not seen, and that is inside us. We have seen everywhere outside, but we have never turned our eyes towards our own heart to see whether it is perhaps inside us. But it is very difficult for us. We have been so accustomed for births and births to seek for happiness elsewhere in the entire world, to seek it in riches, to seek it in name and fame, but never inside our own heart. And now suddenly, simply because somebody says it's very, very difficult, because the moment you try to turn your mind inside, you are assailed by all parts of the world. So not a minute you are able to concentrate and seek it inside. And the Supreme Lord, who is the shop owner for the super bazaar for ultimate happiness, He in all His immense kindness has provided exit doors so that you can get out of this world and seek that happiness which is supposed to be inside us. And such doors are some special holy places, some special holy temples, and some special Mahatmas or holy men who have already attained such state of immense happiness and who always live with that happiness. And we may not be able to go and meet such people because we will not know. Nobody has got a placard on his forehead saying, here is a man who has seen happiness, here is a Mahatma. Who knows? There are so many people. But there are places which are well known to us, which have not only been guaranteed in Shastras, which have not only been guaranteed by the great Mahatmas who have lived there, and there is no guarantee needed. It is a matter of our own experience. Any of us can go there and experience it. And such a place, an exit door or an entrance door to happiness, is called Arunachala. It has got a Tamil name called Tiruvannamalai. Arunachala is supposed to be one of the oldest of the mountains where the creation has started. That was the beginning of the Srishti was there, and we are told. What do you mean by Arunachala? This entire world is running on some power. There is so much energy. It is that energy which makes us speak, which makes us do so many works, which make us think, which make us do inventions. And without that energy, we will all be as good as dead. We will not be able to move even our little finger. And the first law of thermodynamics in physics says that energy is neither created nor destroyed. The total energy of the world is a constant. There is only one energy, and we call it energy as Parashakti. Because the word energy, somehow due to our conditioning, it implies that it is something like electricity, which is jada. Jada means insentient. It cannot react. I abuse it. It cannot abuse me back. I beat it. It cannot respond. So we call such things as insentient, as jada. But we are talking of an energy which moves us, which makes us talk, which makes us big thinkers, which makes us seek God, which makes us seek the ultimate happiness. So that energy, it cannot be insentient. It is all Chaitanya, it is all consciousness, it is pure consciousness, it is full consciousness, it is consciousness and consciousness alone. So, this conscious energy, we know in our physics that there are two types of energies. The one is called the potential energy, the other is called the kinetic energy. It's the kinetic energy which moves about and gives us light and makes the TV speak and makes the radio sing. And it makes this entire world move, and that dynamic force, we call it as the kinetic energy. But all this energy emanates from one source. So Aruna represents the red, and the red represents the Rajoguna, or the mode of dynamism, where we're inclined to act, we want to do something. And that is depicted in our scriptures as red. White is Sattva-guna, red is Rajoguna, and black is Tamoguna. Tamoguna is lassitude, laziness, disinclination to do any work. And Sattva-guna represents the mode of happiness, the mode of light, the mode of harmony. And Rajoguna is in between. It is all activity and activity alone. So this entire world, after all, if there is a very nice system, there should have been a system maker for it. We have got such a beautiful world where everything goes like a clockwork. The monsoon comes in its time. The sun gets up at the proper time. And it doesn't take leave for a few days saying, oh Lord, I am tired of it, let me have leave for 1 week. What will happen? So when everything is running systematically, there has to be a system maker. If there is a computer, there should have been a founder for the computer. So that one who creates, who maintains us, who sustains us, and finally a day comes when it dissolves each one of us. The one who does these three activities of Srishti, Sthiti and Laya. And that is the Prakriti, that is the energy, that is the primal energy of the Divine Father, the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Shakti. The Shakti is not different from the Supreme Lord. The Lord and the Shakti are one and the same. The fire and its burning power are not different. They are one and the same. So, Aruna represents the kinetic energy which moves about, which has created this world and which is running it so beautifully with all the varieties. And Achala represents that which is immobile, static, the potential energy. The potential is the base energy. Everything has come out of it. So the dynamic energy which has come out of it, we call her as Devi, we call her as Bhagavati, we call her as Parashakti. Because Shakti, by that we mean this normal energy. So who is the energy of all energies? Who is the ultimate base energy from which the entire world has come up? And that we call her as the Divine Mother. These are all for purpose of our upasana, so that it enables us to worship. So when we consider a dear mother, we think of your mother's karuna, your mother's kripa, your mother's grace, and we feel that mother will definitely fulfill our desires of ultimate happiness. That is why it is all meant for upasana, but ultimately there is only one the Supreme Lord or the Supreme God. You may call him as Lord Narayana, you may call him as Lord Shiva, you may call him as Bhagavati or Devi or the Divine Mother. But here, Arunachala represents the two, the Shiva and the Shakti. Shiva reminds, he is the Purusha, he doesn't act, in his presence all activity goes on. If the principal is not there, the teachers will take leave and go and there will be no classes. The principal doesn't come and go on telling everybody, come on, start your class. He is simply present in the building, the classes go on. So the Purusha, the ultimate Lord, the Supreme Being, he reminds, and he is the storehouse of all the energies. And this Aruna is part of his energy. And Aruna is Shakti. And in the Lalita Sahasranama, the last but one name, the 99th name is Om Shri Shiva Shakti Rupini Namaha. So they both are identical for the ignorant people for various purposes, in order to enable us to do the worship from our level of knowledge, from our level of ability. These things have been prescribed by the great seers so that we can approach with all our defects, with all our weaknesses. And so Arunachala represents the Shiva Shakti Aikya Rupata, the ultimate Parabrahman, where both are together, the Bhagavati and the Bhagavan. Both are together, and that is called the Arunachala. And Arunachala, it is a place which is about 160 kilometers or so from Madras. You can go from Madras, you can go from Bangalore. It is one of the oldest of mountains, just as Himalaya is considered to be the youngest of the mountains. Arunachala is considered as the oldest of the mountains. And Arunachala is not a mountain. Vindhya will be a mountain. So there are so many mountains. Trikuta, there is a mountain. There are so many mountains. Himalaya is a mountain. But Arunachala is not a mountain. Arunachala is the Lord himself in the form of the mountain. According to the Arunachala Mahatma, it is told that Brahma, the creator, with 4 heads, Chaturmukha, and Lord Vishnu, they had a controversy and a dispute. When they met each other, Vishnu called Brahma, "Oh my dear son, how are you?" Brahma took exception. "What do you mean? Everybody calls me the Pitamaha. I am the great grandfather of the entire world, and how dare you call me as your son?" He said, "What do you mean? You have forgotten. You came out of my own Nabi. There is a Kamala from my Nabi. You came out of me. He said nothing doing. When everybody respects you, you also respect me." Thus, there is a big dispute as to who was greater. And when the dispute went very high, the Lord said, "They are all the guardians of law. If the judges were to fight among each other, then who is to give us justice?" So naturally the constitution is there to guard that the judges don't dispute among themselves. They live in harmony. So the Lord Shiva, he suddenly appeared before them, in between them, as a big pillar of light. It was a big pillar. It was endless. One could never see its beginning. One could never see its end. It was going on and it was going down. It was so brilliant and resplendent. Both of them have never seen such a sight. They were not aware. What sort of light is this? This is much greater than this. At no time we could imagine that we could grow so big. Then an idea struck Brahma. Brahma said, "Well, this is the occasion. This will decide who is greater, you or I. I will go up, I will fly up on my Hamsa Vimana. He has got swan as his vehicle. I will go up and I will try to find out where it begins. You have been a Sukara, you have been Varaha Avatara, you have been a wild boar in one of your avatars. So you go as a wild boar, dig and go down and find out how far this pillar of light goes and where it ends. The one who comes up after having seen it, the first one who comes up, well, he will be considered as greater. Agreed. The condition was agreed to by both. He went to the Hamsa Vimana, he was going up, so tired, the swan could go no more. Even though it was divine, it was on the point of dying. And he himself was tired. And this wild boar, dark, it was going down, Sutala, Atala, Patala. It has gone down beyond the 7 lokas. And it's all darkness and still the light is going down. It was tired. With great difficulty he dragged himself back and came up. And Brahma found that there was a beautiful flower called the Ketaki. It had just for it is a yellow one with a beautiful smell. In Tamil we call it Tazhambu. It's called the Ketaki Pushpa. It had fallen down from the head of the pillar. The pillar was Lord Shiva himself. From his head it was falling down. Brahma said, he said, look here, I will pay you very well. You will have to come and bear a witness that you were there when I came and saw the beginning of this light. He said, okay, false witness. So when they came down, Brahma told him, well, were you able to see? He said, with his head bent in shame, sorry, it was further, well, I couldn't find out its depth. He said, what? Look here, this Ketaki will bear witness. I was able to go and see, it was very high, but still I went and saw. The Lord told Brooke that one of his own deputies, who is supposed to be a guardian of Lord, should himself utter a lie. So the God immediately, between them, he just broke the pillar and come out as Lord Shiva in all his mighty grandeur, resplendent. And both of them bowed down to the Lord. And they said, Lord, neither I am great nor he is great, you are great. You are the ultimate reality. And this has been described in one shloka. Tavaishwaryam yatnati yadupari virinchir hariradha parichetum yata panadamanada skandha babushaha tato bhakti shraddha bharaguru grinadhyam girichayati swayam taste tabhyam tavakimanu na bharati. This was written by Pushpadatta. This is called the Shamamemna Stotra. It's a stotra which is read every day in all the ashrams in the north. Then he says, oh Lord, whoever finally bows at your feet and surrenders, well, you reveal yourself to them and you bestow all your grace on them. Who can be a Karuna Sagara like you, Karuna Varunalaya? Then the Lord told them, this is a place where I am going to stay forever. He was a pillar of fire, it was burning light. Knowledge is light, knowledge burns. See, the word light, we use it metaphorically. See, whenever you don't understand a passage, you ask somebody, sure, can you throw some light on this passage? So light means knowledge means light, both are together. Knowledge is Swayam Prakasha, the ultimate knowledge. He is the ultimate reality. He said, I will be here in the form of the fire, a fire mountain. I will cool down. When the fire cools down, I'll be in the form of a mountain, a fire mountain. I'll be in all my glories. It won't be a mountain, it is I who will be having the guise of a mountain. And I'm going to be in two places. Because he has come out of it. You see this pillar, there is the first form of a linga. What is a linga? Linga is a pillar like stanu. So, the Lord when he came out, he is called the Lingodbhava Murti. In Arunachala, in Ramanacham, behind the mother's temple on the other side, you will find there a big linga, and in between the linga, by just breaking it up, you will find Lord Shiva standing, and he is called the Lingodbhava Murti. So it is Lord Shiva himself, the ultimate reality himself, who has come in the form of that mountain. And why it was associated with Aruna, the Divine Mother? There is another story for it. The story goes that Parvati one day in play, she went and shut the eyes of Lord Shiva. Inside Lord Shiva, all the entire world is there. What do you mean by saying inside Lord Shiva, the entire world is there? Supposing I go to sleep, I get a dream. So in the dream I find that I am a chieftain in a very big kingdom in East Africa. And I find a huge expanse of the African forest. I am sitting on a throne, and there are 100 wives sitting, and there are hundreds of warriors with spears standing. Where from have they come? Where were they? They were inside me. So this entire world has come from the Sankalpa of the Lord. So figuratively it is described that we are all inside the Lord in that way. Even now we are inside Him. When you saw the dream, when I saw the dream, the African forest was outside me. So all the warriors were standing outside. But actually, how could they be inside my small room which is locked? How did they come? They were never outside, they were all inside. They were all inside only, that's all. But we are seeing as if they are outside. That is there. Darpanat Shivananagari Tulyam Nijantargatam Pasyan Nagani Mayaya Bahirivot Bhutam Yata Nindriya. Krishnamurti Sutra Adi Shankara says, all this dream, it takes place inside you, but you are seeing as if it is outside and it all looks real. When you are seeing the dream, you saw a tiger coming behind you, it was real, it was solid. When it came and got hold of my hand, I could feel the solidity of its teeth and its claws. But were they solid? Were they real? Not at all. The entire thing was only a nightmare. It was a dream. It never existed in reality. So similarly, all these things, this entire world, it is a cosmic dream of the cosmic totality of the Supreme Lord. So we are all the dream figures. So in the dream, we are all talking. Somebody is there, a friend of mine who is without a job, he is worried. He says, I don't know, my money is exhausted, I am not getting a job. Then I am also getting worried about my friend. All these things you see in the dream. And you feel it is real. The moment you woke up, you found that none of it was real. The only reality was the dreamer, you. So here the dreamer is the cosmic Lord, and we are all the dream figures. And each dream figure is thinking that we are all real. And where from all the dream figures came? They all came out of the energy of the Lord. The Lord Himself came. Otherwise, if you want to manufacture a pot, you require mud. So, when the Lord has manufactured all of us, where is the material cause? Where is the material out of which He has made us all? The material was He, that consciousness. From that consciousness He made us all. So now coming to the Arunachala. So when Parvati shut his eyes, the entire world was deprived of light for a number of years, because 1 minute in this world is equal to 20,000 years in actual fact, even though she shut it down only for 1 minute. In your dream sometimes you see for 15 minutes you saw the dream. You saw 80 years of your life from childhood, you grew up to be an old man, and when you got up you found only 5 minutes had elapsed. So time and space in different places are different, they are relative. So in that 1 second when she shut the eyes, for thousands and thousands and centuries, the world inside was deprived of light and people died. All the Mahashis who were there, they came running. They said, "Oh divine mother, what have you done? You have done a big sin. You are responsible for the death of so many jivas." Then she was shocked. She never expected it. She didn't play. Lord Shiva told, "My dear Parvati, I am sorry now you can't be with me. I am pure conscious, nothing but purity can adhere to me. So you have to go and do tapasya, austerities, for me to accept you." So Parvati was sent to do tapasya. She first went to Kanchi. She made a small linga and she was keeping it. She was daily doing worship. One day the river water came and along with the Lord Shiva, the Shivalinga, she was being driven to the water. She was being washed off. But she was sure that the linga should not go in. She was clasping it tightly. The Lord was very happy to save us and we didn't leave the linga. She was keeping it. She was not bothered about herself being washed off, but she was very particular that the linga, her Lord, whom she was worshipping in that linga. Linga means it's a sign. A sign is a doorway to the Lord. That's all. So he came and told her, "Look here, still you are not yet fully pure. So now you are promoted, you go to the next step. You will go to Arunachala. There is Maharshi Gautama, he will tell you what to do, the various sadhanas, you will do sadhanas. It is there I will come and I will ultimately accept you." She goes over there, Gautama Muni directs her, and she is asked to establish the lingas which were originally worshipped by the Ashtadikpalas, the guardians of the 8 quarters, Yama, Niriti, Agni, Varuna, Kubera, and all these people. So she goes and worships in the Yamalinga. What is the significance of worshipping the Yamalinga? That means that you have the death experience while being alive. Then only we become really alive. We have to die. Unless you break the dream, you die in the dream world. How can you live in the waking world? You become alive. For that purpose, we have to die to this world of temptations, this phenomenal world which is non-existent, which is a nightmare. So she goes and does to Yamalinga and all the 8 lingas, years and years of tapasya, and she does. The Lord comes finally and says, "Come on, what do you want?" She says, "Look here, in future you give me such a boon that you can never divorce me, you can never say you get out. I should be part of you. I should be integral, inseparable part of you, so that you cannot say you get out." Talaq. No, that can't be. Lord said, "You are very clever." So it is an anticipatory bell for all future mistakes. Because God cannot punish her. He can't say you get out. So he said, "All right, I will give you half of my body." So she became his Ardhagini, and the Lord became the Ardhanarishwara. Half of it was the kinetic energy and half of it was the potential energy. Both together, Om Om Shri Shivashakti Kirupini Namaha. They became one. And that is the place. That is the place where the Lord had fused the masculine and the feminine aspect. Everybody has got both the aspect. It has to be fused. The one is aggressiveness, the male quality. Yes, we have to be aggressive. You have to tell the Lord, I have got the right. I want you. So be aggressive. But at the same time, you should have the heart of a lady. You should melt before the Lord. So that is also required. A jnana which is wet with the waters of bhakti. And that is what is required. And that is Arunachala, Aruna and Achala together. The one representing the softer side. The side where we melt at the very name of the Lord. The moment you hear it, you go into ecstasy. You will not come out. So that should be the stage where we should reach. And that is what is represented by Arunachala. And scientifically speaking also, you see, according to the Shastras, going round the hill is about 14 kilometers, the full parikrama. So going round the hill is supposed to bestow up to mukti. It gives you bhukti and mukti. Whatever you want, you can get sarvarthakam siddhi, and also finally mukti you get. How could it happen that you get mukti? Why do we not get mukti? Because there are a lot of obstacles inside us. Those obstacles have to be removed. We are not getting anything. God is not somewhere to get. He is very much here. But we are all ignorant of it. We have only to remove the ignorance. See, look here in my room. There are about 20 bulbs. One of them is a 0 watt. One is a 60 watt. Another is a 200 watt. One is a 1000 watt. The 0 watt is daily beeping before me and saying, Swamiji, I don't know what sort of papa I did in my previous birth. I became a 0 watt with very little. And people just put me for 2-3 hours at night. See the treasure of 1000 watt. He is just shining and proudly exhibiting his power and all that. So it was jealous. It was requesting me at least to make me a student watt. Is it a real dukkha? Is there any real motive for its suffering? It is suffering because it is ignorant. It doesn't know that there is only one wire which comes inside. It is that which lights up the 0 watt. It is that which lights up the 200 watt. It is that which lights up the 1000 watt. And that wire is connected with the very generator where from the entire electricity is generated. I am in contact with all. Its life has become the 1000 watt. Its life has become the 200 watt. I am holding hand with the 1000 watt, the 200 watt, and the ultimate Lord, the generator himself. What do you lack? You are Purna. So it was only your ignorance you thought that I am a 0 watt and I am like this. You are the Purna. So it is that we have to know. So this knowledge comes by going on, going around. What happens is your mind refuses to work. You are lost in the beauty of the mountain. Not only that, there are magnetic rays, different types of magnetic rays emanating from every small space in the entire mountain. So if you are to be exposed to all those beneficial rays of the magnetism, you have to go around to have the all-round benefit of all the types of the magnetic rays. And I am told that some people have found that they are all alpha rays emanating. Nowadays, recently in America also, they have found in Kanpur also, there is a gentleman Tripathi. He has managed to process one small aluminum plate. He has sent it through various processes. Now that, if you keep with you, it creates alpha rays, so that your mind can get absolutely quiet in no time and your meditation process becomes quicker. Not only that, People with so many diseases are cured because the alpha rays have got the curative capacity. And the example was given by one of the doctors who is still there. I talked to him yesterday. The Dr. Tripathi told there was a student in the medical college who was very brilliant. They were sure that she is to top the MBBS that year. 3 days before the examination was over, she was studying so much, perhaps her mind became blank. She refused to recognize anybody. She went on talking about this, talking about anatomy, talking about medicines, what is ofloxacin, what is the isomer of ofloxacin. So people said, oh, she has become mad, what to do now? So that other Tripathi, who is a scientist, who is running a factory, he has done for as a hobby. He has kept a lot of such plates. He gave one plate to her to be kept here permanently. He gave another plate to be kept whenever she sleeps, it will be kept under her pillow. Within 2 days, he said she became absolutely okay. The alpha rays quite to her, and she got the second rank that time in her MBBS. This is an actual case in point which happened. Such alpha rays are emanating from this mountain. Only when we go, when we get the benefit, we will know a number of people have got the benefit of it. And they say, as the entire mountain is Bhagavan himself, is Lord Shiva himself, almost all the pilgrims, including the foreigners, plenty of them come over there. They walk barefoot around the entire 14 kilometers. And it is told the Arunachala Purana also, it is essential. It so happened there was a king. She was born in a very luxurious condition. He was never accustomed to walk. So one day he took a nice horse and he did the parikrama on the horse back. And both the horse and he died on the same date. And he found that the horse got mukti while he was going to some loka and he was to come back again. When they asked, they said, you didn't do the parikrama. It was the horse which did the parikrama, so it got its mukti. See, it so happened, there was a lady, some people came to me when I was once at Arunachala and Tirunelveli last year. Some people were telling Swamiji, that particular mantra you gave for my husband's illness, it has cured him. Then one lady intervened. Swamiji, you told me one mantra for my husband who has had a stroke and all that. It has not helped him at all. I said, look here. I am not a Dukan Wala. I only told you that this is the thing and I never gave you any warranty or guarantee for it. But then tell me, did you tell the mantras daily or did he? He said, no Swamiji, on the very first day we put 108 times the mantra in the cassette. The cassette was daily doing 108 times the japa and you were killing it. I said, then your cassette piece should be in a fine state of health. So this is what happens. So, Arunachala Mahatma is so great, and about the alpha rays I told, and Bhagavan Ramana once told, look here, there is a corresponding mountain several thousands of miles off, exactly on a straight line 180 degrees from it, but somewhere on the opposite direction, and it has got the same spiritual quality as this mountain. At that time nobody could tell, but the reason was many have gone to that mountain. It is called Mochu Pochu or something like that. It is somewhere near Brazil. There are people in Bangalore, there are people in Delhi who have all gone there and they have seen the mountain. Many of the monasteries are also found there near about, and they say a number of seekers and aspirants go there to that place, and when one goes there, he finds a peace of mind. Today in Tirunelveli there is a sannyasi near Varunalingam. His name is Swami Ramanananda. He was a structural engineer in those days. He belonged to Bangalore or so perhaps. He told me once that he had once gone up. He used to go up in the mountain to the top and go here and there some days, and for days together he used to live there in his earlier days. And once he went to a particular place, he was having a bag, he was having a small cloth over called Uttariya, and he was having a book, and he was having an umbrella also, and he was going. Suddenly when he went to a spot, he found everything flew off his hand. He was unable to move. His eyes were just seeing everything. He was unable to move. The mind became absolutely blank, and he was standing. His mind was full of some happiness, unknown happiness. He didn't want to move for nearly an hour or so. He remained. Then somehow he managed to collect himself and come down. And he said he searched for that place the second and third time, he couldn't find that spot. This is what happened. So, that Arunachala has got such quality. Lord Shiva, in the form of that fire pillar, when he came, he said, I will be in two places. Because some people may not believe in this, in the divinity of this mountain. They will say, how can a mountain be a god? So they may not be aware. So for that sake, I am also coming to Arunachaleshwara is a temple. So he became Arunachaleshwara, a linga form, which is there along with his consort, the Bhagavati known as Apita Kuchamba, and they were in two places. And not only that, you see, that place has got, see, all these tirthas like the Ganges Tata, Kashi, Badrinath, it is not the place alone which counts. In any place, if at all there is energy, they are all being kinetic energy. One day the battery will be discharged, one day it will become nil. Then how are they getting charged again and again? It is only because of great Mahatmas who go there, not to get the benefit, but to bestow the benefit on that so that it can continue to help the world around who come to seek asylum in those mountains. So various Mahatmas have gone there. Not only that, Raman Maharshi one day, when he was walking in that mountain, he saw the mountain, there is a cleft in the mountain. He could see in between down below. Down below he saw a beautiful udyan with thousands of trees. And in each tree he found there was a Siddha Purusha sitting in his Parmasvara and doing tapasya there. So even today it is told that our entire Arunachala is a place of Siddha Purushas. Siddhas who have attained a high level of spiritual uplift and who are still doing tapasya, not only for themselves, for the benefit of the entire mankind, all around in the entire world, not only for Tamil Nadu, not only for India. So he himself is bound. Not only that, oh, this must be Lord Shiva. He is called Siddhanam Adhipa. He is the head of all the Siddhas. I have heard that Shiva lives in this mountain. Oh my Lord, today I am having a darshan. He wanted to go and have a vision, a near vision. So he was following, it was at a distance. When he was nearing, he just disappeared along with the Maharshis among some bushes. He also went and inside the bush. Suddenly from nowhere, thousands of bees came and they were stinging him. He said, yes, without the permission of the Lord, I had no business to pursue him. Personally here, I can pursue him mentally, but not physically without his permission. So, he placed his hand and feet at the disposal of the beast. He said, yes, I did an aparadha, please sting me very well. I should have the punishment. They said, this is what he did. So, that's a place where you see, Pratyaksham Vardate Haraha. Lord Shiva lives there in all his glory, in his personality. He is there. And there is another great beauty about Arunachala according to the Puranas. The Puranas mention 4 or 5 exit doors from which we can get into Mukti direct. First he says is Jarmana Kamalali. There is a place called Tiruvarur which was called the Kamalalaya. The Shastras say whoever were born in Kamalalaya, they were all meant for moksha, they would have lost birth. Only such people were born there. Then it says, Darshanatu Chidambare. Chidambaram is another place of Lord Nataraja, the dancing master, where it's called the Akasha Linga there. Akasha means the space, you cannot see the space. You can see the objects in space, nobody has seen the space, nobody has seen the time. So, there, anybody who goes and sees the Akasha Linga and thinks of him as the space, as the Akasha, as the infinite one, Darshanatu Chidambari, he gets mukti by simply seeing him.